Hey everybody, it's Rebecca at Design and Adore, and hello. I am so excited to talk to you today about the Picturesque kit. The Picturesque is going to be our spotlight project starting on Friday, and here it is. This is the Picturesque. So the star of the show on every Picturesque necklace is one of these handmade charms, handmade pendants by Two Charming Chix. And if you know, you know. They're highly collectible. They're just so pretty, so artistic. So the deal with the Two Charming Chix is that they're double-sided, right? So you have your image here, and I'm gonna flip this over. Here's the back. And then the image is sandwiched between two pieces of glass. And then look how expertly soldered this is. And not just expertly, but beautifully and artistically. We have these little dollops of extra silver solder along there. They're just really, really beautifully done. And then the pendant is embellished with all these different baubles, right? And everyone is totally different. Just depends on the theme and the colors. This one, like this pretty cut glass on here. This says joy, a little heart, some other check glass pieces on here. Just really, really pretty. And then the Picturesque necklace has this Two Charming Chix pendant up front. And then we make, of course, a gorgeous kumihimo necklace to display our pendant. I'm gonna actually switch this over to the photo view. Let me hit all the buttons so that, there we go, fits on the screen better there. So we have the pendant up front, and then for each and every beautiful Two Charming Chix pendant, we have made a custom Delica blend. So these are size 11 Delicas. They're quite tiny. They're less than 2 millimeters across. But the reason we're using such small beads, we got a couple reasons. Reason number one, it makes a braid small enough to fit through the bail on the pendant. Reason number two, by using such small beads, we can get a really beautiful, smooth color blend. So you'll notice on either side of the pendant, we have a section with a spiral of fire polish beads. So right here, we have our fire polish, and this really nicely frames the pendant. We have some little mini little spacer beads here that are starting and stopping our spiral section. But check this out, see if you can get the camera to focus on that. Notice how the spirals are actually going in opposite directions. Typically, when you're doing a kumihimo project with a spiral, the spiral just continues going the same way around and around and around and around and around until you get to the end of the necklace. So with the Picturesque project, you're actually going to learn how to change the spiral direction midway through your project. So it's very, very cool. If you haven't done one of these before, I think you're gonna be amazed once you know the trick, right? It's a little thing. You got to think about it and you're just like, why didn't I think of that sooner? It's really cool. So we have these beautiful custom Delica blends. Alex and I make these for you, and we really pay attention to the proportions of the colors and the different finishes so that it's just a beautiful braid that really highlights the beauty of these unique artisan pendants. Let me set this down here. Coming around to the back of the necklace, we're gonna finish this off with peyote stitch end cap covers. So we have had 5 millimeter stainless steel end caps custom made for us. You can fit a 4 millimeter end cap over a Delica braid, but it's a real tight fit. It's like putting on a pair of jeans that just don't quite wanna go. You gotta just like suck it in and make it go. But with the 5 millimeter end caps, they just pop right over without any wrestling. And you're gonna have your same beautiful Delica mix and we're gonna make peyote stitch end cap covers. You're also, in your peyote stitch instructions, gonna learn how to put this nice little accent row on either end. So you'll get to pick one of the accent colors in your blend and you'll pull some out to make that nice little detail. It's really sharp. Everything just comes together so beautifully. Since these pendants are so different, I wanted to give you just a little teaser. This isn't all of them. We have more, but I want to show you some special things that we're really excited about for this time. I thought this one was really fun. Going into summer, this is a flamingo. The charms, the little baubles at the bottom, they're gonna vary piece to piece. So I don't know what item number this will be, but just say randomly, this was item number 3. All of the, if you get number 3, Flamingo Dreams or whatever it is, all of the images, front and back, will be the same within any given item number, but the charms might vary a little bit because those do vary, pendant dependent, even among pendants of the same image. So just want you to know that. But I thought the flamingo was really fun. Or it has this kind of like watercolor background to it and a little bit of like a glittery accent in there. And then we have more flamingos on the back. That's just super cute. Now, not all of the pendants are actually printed images. Some of them are actually fabric. So this is some vintage embroidery. So someone actually hand stitched this. I think this was a handkerchief. Isn't that pretty? Now, of course, on something like this, I mean, it's double-sided in the sense that there's like a window and you can see the back of it, but it's not a different image, it's just the back of the embroidery, which I actually think is really cool. As someone who makes things myself, I don't do embroidery like this though. I like being able to see the back side of it. It's really interesting. My grandma tried to teach me embroidery when I was young and I just wasn't into it. And I realize now that I missed an opportunity there. But I just think that's really pretty. I love those purples. And then this is something else that's brand new for Two Charming Chix. Shadow boxes. So like her classic designs, we have a double-sided image. Here's the front, here's the back. But in the shadow box design, there's a 3-dimensional component that's inside, it's underneath the glass. So this beehive, turn it that way, yeah, you can see that there's actually a little beehive charm under the glass. And that's really cool. And then another shadow box design with the clock components in there, right? Like that's the guts of an old watch. And I think the clocks are really, really cool. I like being able to see the gears in there, and then we have the clock motif on the back. Another fun one for summer, the pineapple. I used to live in Charleston, South Carolina, so that's what I think of whenever I see this pineapple. But throughout the South, the pineapple is a symbol of hospitality, and I really like the colors on this one. What does it say? Be a pineapple, stand tall, wear a crown, and be sweet on the inside. Love it. This one we have a nice floral print. Love the colors in this, that bright pop of orange with the blues against those green leaves. And then we have another orange poppy on the back here. Oh, here's another shadow box. This is a French lavender with that heart charm in there. So again, this is just a preview. This isn't all of them. The Picturesque kits are gonna go on sale starting on Friday. It's gonna be 5 o'clock Arizona time. Arizona is currently in the same time zone as Pacific. So that's 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern. This is a new swirl pendant. Of course, here in Tucson, we're obsessed with swirls. So what I like about this one is we have this gorgeous floral wreath on our swirl. So that's bringing in lots of fun colors. Stand tall, be sharp, and always stay on point. Excellent advice. Got some butterflies, double-sided butterflies here. And of course, any of these, you get to make the call as to what's the front. But when it's an image on both sides, instead of image on one side, words on the other, if it's an image on both sides, the silver dollops and the solder will be on both sides, right? So they truly are reversible. You could totally wear the words to the front, but most people, I think, wear them with the words as just like a secret message to yourself. So you wear that to the inside. Look at that cactus. Oops, stay in frame, Rebecca. Look at that cactus flower. This is a piece of vintage fabric. Fantastic blues in there. So 2 different little bits of vintage fabric. This is one we've had before, but it often sells out, very highly requested. This is the Wizard of Oz, Dorothy and her ruby slippers there. And in this case, they do all have the same charm at the bottom. There's no place like home. They all have that, and they all have a ruby slipper. I think the glass baubles vary, but on the there's no place like home, they all have the same main charms. The power was always with you. This is the new patriotic one we have. So we have an American flag and some red and blue flowers growing here out of like a country style flower pot. American flag on the back. Tiny print. What does it say? God shed his grace on thee. So this is our classic red, white, and blue. I like this one. It has sort of like a country vibe. I grew up in Southern Ohio, so I feel this one. And then here we have some hummingbirds and a beautiful flower. Believe there is good in the world, or be the good in the world. And new design, fairy. We haven't had any fairy pendants before. I think this one's really pretty. I love those sparkly glitter accents in there. This is Alex approved glitter. I don't know if you know, Alex is very concerned that glitter be contained at all times so it doesn't spread and contaminate everything. This glitter is 100% contained behind the glass, so it won't contaminate anything else that you're wearing. And then we have another fairy on the back here. So I just want to give you guys a preview of some of these pendants that we're going to have for the Picturesque necklace. Skill level wise, this shouldn't be your first Kumihimo project. It's important that you've done some beaded Kumihimo before. You are going to be working with the Delicas that are quite small. They're actually pretty easy to braid up because they're holes. The hole in a Delica is most of the bead, so they string very easily using your big eye needle. You can also use a bead spinner to pick up the Delicas, but since they're small, I don't want this to be your first beaded Kumihimo project. Also, because of that reverse the spiral, that's going to be confusing if you're just getting started. So if you have done a few beaded Kumihimo projects before and you feel, confident that generally things just like boom, 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 you can handle a beaded Kumihimo, then yep, you can do this. If you're still having to think really hard about the moves, you're like top, right, down, what comes next, what comes next? Okay, yep, bottom, left, up. If you're still thinking about that step and that's not happening automatic for you, then you want to practice a little bit more before you get into reversing the spiral, because it just requires a little bit of extra focus and attention. I want to make sure that it goes smoothly for you. So that's the Picturesque. You can drop me a comment if you have any questions or anything you need to know about the Picturesque kits.